At some point, fear of Rupert Murdoch's reputation may overcome the lure of his money. Didn't in my case. In our third story on the countdown, not yet. Murdoch will now add to his media empire a newspaper with the second highest circulation in the United States. The deal, as of this hour, is officially done. It's just been approved by the boards of both Dow Jones, publishers of the Wall Street Journal, and News Corp, which is Murdoch's corporate name. The takeover bid has won the support of at least 32% of Dow Jones voting shares held by the Bancroft family. In other words, about half that family, which controls 64% of all voting shares, favored the deal. A spokesman for Dow Jones said, quote, "The Bancroft family has accepted." But only after months of doubt and turmoil. The Bancroft family has controlled Dow Jones for more than a century, and many argued that its gem, the Wall Street Journal, will be damaged with Murdoch as its new boss. But the prospect of making $60 a share for stock that was trading at about $36 per share proved too strong. Family members will also reportedly earn about $30 million in advisory fees. Let's turn now to the host of the Rachel Maddow Show on Air America. Surprisingly enough, Rachel Maddow. Thanks for your time tonight, Rachel.
Hi, Keith.
This is far more than a business acquisition for Rupert Murdoch. I think that's fair to say. But what are the actual dimensions in his mind, do you think?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, anybody who is trying to make money right now, anybody who's looking for a pure business proposition isn't in the market for a newspaper. Mm-hmm. If you just look at Rupert Murdoch's own media empire, newspapers make up less than 15% of his operating income. The New York Post alone loses tens of millions of dollars a year. He holds on to them because they offer him a pulpit, a great megaphone for his political views. And it's pretty clear, it's no secret in this case, that this makes him, along with the plans for a Fox Business Channel, it makes him the single unchallenged dominant voice in the American media on news about business.
Mr. Murdoch claims that nobody at the Wall Street Journal should be concerned about him meddling, since News Corp has this agreement to create a committee that would have to sign off on any decision to hire or fire top editors at the paper. So nothing to see here, right?
Oh, a committee. Wow, a committee. Therefore, our sacred honor and our values will obviously be totally intact. You know, he made similar promises when he took over the Times of London, and the experience of the Times of London should offer no one comfort. The Times of London used to be a respectable, if conservative, publication before Murdoch got his hands on it. The same thing cannot be said of it today. He's made these promises before.
Any chances, though, under these circumstances, of a reader backlash if Murdoch tries to position, as he has said, the Wall Street Journal as a conservative counter to the New York Times as a national newspaper? And by this I mean the Journal's editorial page is just to the right of Attila the Hun. Right. But people who buy the paper for the paper itself generally have wanted insightful business news and perspective they can carry to and from the office, and ways to make money, and more ways to make money. Can he conceivably blow that by getting all political on them?
Well, one thing that'll be interesting to watch is the way that Murdoch has showed his editorial influence in the past. Because yes, it is right-wing politics and a willingness to stretch the truth in order to further his right-wing political aims, on the one hand. But the other thing that he's really known for is just sheer tastelessness. I mean, this is the guy who puts the naked ladies in the paper every day, he promises, and he runs these wingo games and stuff to try to entice people to buy the paper when naked ladies aren't enough. The experience of him with the Chicago Sun-Times, for example, is remembered as almost as much for that sheer cheesy tastelessness as it is for his political eccentricities. And so we may see a number of different kinds of reader backlash with this Wall Street Journal takeover.
And the Daily Kos today reminded its readers of a lawsuit that had been filed by 2 employees against the Fox News station in the Tampa area in 2003. They had been fired by the station, this is opposed to the national network, for refusing to distort a story, they said. And Fox News actually argued in the appeal that broadcasters have the First Amendment right to lie or deliberately distort news reports on the public airwaves. And Fox News, Fox Corporation anyway, won, although on slightly narrower grounds than that. First Amendment protections are strong, but Fox is brash enough to claim we can lie, and the Constitution says we can lie?
This is getting, I think, to the really big issue here, the really big story, because this is not just about media consolidation. It's not just about supporting Republican candidates or conservative policies. The big issue here is, and the big agenda here is, I think, to simply make news worse, to undermine the idea of a discoverable truth about information that can be researched and conveyed and believed in. When you bill the work of Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly as news, News, when you call that the Fox News channel, you're degrading the very idea of news. You're making news something that should be questioned alongside propaganda or opinion. You're putting the very idea of news in the gutter where it lives with equal stature to propaganda. It simply undermines the very idea of journalism as something that deserves respect. It gets us very much back to the Bush administration's assertions about the reality-based community being something that should be questioned by people who live outside that reality-based community. That's the big agenda here, is undermining the whole idea of journalism, and that's the real thing to worry about.
The good old Ministry of Truth as another outlet. Rachel Maddow, host of The Rachel Maddow Show on Air America. As always, great thanks for your time, Rachel.
Thank you, Kate.